crime can plague a community.
We have to work together in unison to fight this fight.
It's a problem both small towns and big cities are trying to solve. This week, we're in Detroit. We'll show you some of the unique approaches people are taking to deter crime.
These are vehicles we use to protect people.
The new technology cracking old cases.
If there's no evidence now, this isn't going to be solved.
And the work being done to build relationships.
We say, hey, how you doing, sir?
And a safer America. This is The Race. Welcome to The Race. I'm Chris Stewart. Detroit has one of the highest violent crime rates in America, according to the FBI. And it's challenges like that that's opened the door for a growing industry that provides protection at a price.
The landscape is growing because there is a greater need for protection than ever before. Our objective is to protect that person's business from a violent encounter.
Dale Brown is the founder of the Detroit Threat Management Center.
You have to be able to understand.
Businesses and groups like homeowners associations hire his company for private protection.
You shouldn't have to be rich to have a bodyguard.
Clients pay for a membership to have Brown's team respond if there's a problem.
We respond within 5 minutes on average.
The membership costs $10 a month, and then clients pay $10 per call.
And if we go over 10 minutes, it's $1 a minute for every minute over that first 10-minute block.
They don't carry guns.
We say, talk calmly and close the gap.
Brown says they rely on self-defense and psychology.
We're gonna get to elbow control. We're gonna stand so close to them in a positive way that we're not adversarial when we're talking to them, and he can't get to the gun in the first place.
Well, I think private security companies can certainly be an enhancement to law enforcement, not to replace law enforcement. That just can't happen.
A Guardian study found there are more private security workers than police in the United States. As the multi-billion-dollar industry grows, Detroit's police chief says people need to know there is a clear difference.
When I look at our training and certainly the training that we have here at the Detroit Police Department, no comparison. No comparison at all.
This is Victoria Park.
When I think about private security companies, I'm thinking about eyes and ears.
You want to take a picture? Take a picture.
The Detroit Threat Management Center always films their encounters. In this video, Brown says he came across a man assaulting a woman.
But if you touch her, you're gonna go on the ground.
If things were to get physical, he says his team can hold someone until police arrive, but they can't make arrests.
Are you feeling safe now?
No.
Do you feel well? The police are on the way as well, okay?
Brown says his company is not private police or meant to replace law enforcement. Clients must call 911 before calling him, but he does point to videos like this as examples of a difference his company is making.
That's what makes me happy we exist, is that, you know, we can actually go into someone's life and remove that abduction from happening. It's a great feeling.
A difference in parts of Detroit in the market for protection. Now, numbers show that violent crime is declining across the country. Annie Taylor has some facts on just how much it's going down.
Chris, when we talk about violent crimes, we're talking about crime that includes murder, rape, robbery, assault. According to the FBI, violent crime is trending downward. Its data shows the rate fell in 2017 and 2018 after a few years of slight increase. The FBI doesn't have 2019 numbers just yet. So let's take a step back and look at the bigger trends. Violent crime today is much lower than it was in the early 90s. The 2018 rate is half of what it was when it peaked in 1991. Now, according to the FBI, the murder rate is also trending downward. It has fallen each year since 2016, after a couple years of going up, that is. Today's rate is about half of what it was in 1991. Now, the big picture shows that violent crime has been declining for a while now, with the rate falling in 22 out of the last 30 years. I'm Annie Taylor for The Race.
Now, as violent crime goes down across the country, it is trending up in rural communities. Chloe Norquist is taking a look at why.
We're a lot busier than we ever have been. We have the call volumes is higher than it ever has been.
The Guthrie County Sheriff's Office in Iowa is busy. 8 full-time deputies watch over the nearly 11,000 people who live here.
We cover 600 square miles, so we can be at one part of the county and get called to the other end.
The department is strapped for time and space for their own people, evidence files, and even the inmates.
In the past 10 years, our jail population has soared, and in the last couple years has really increased because of the meth use.
Sheriff Marty Argenbright says this substance has caused a lot of trouble for his department.
Big old pipe there.
And filled his jail, which only has the capacity for 10 people.
I mean, I never thought I would ever use methamphetamines in my entire life until everyone else around me was using it.
Adam Stow is one of those inmates, here on drug-related charges after deputies say he led them on a chase and crashed into a ravine.
It inspects one community, inspects the next community.
With drug use, also crime picks up. In October, 3 of my deputies were involved in a shooting incident, and we had a warrant to be served, and the person was hiding in a closet and came out shooting at the deputies.
One of those deputies was Stephen Henry.
I went in right there. I was shot in the leg. My partner was shot in the back. It stopped right there. I mean, it was crazy. You hear about that kind of stuff in, LA or New York. I mean, you never think something like that's going to happen here, but really, it does. It's everywhere.
Henry says most of the crime he sees relates to drugs.
Old marijuana.
They all go hand in hand, drug use, mental health, and crime.
And that's where Country View Estates steps in to help.
We provide services to people with mental illnesses. What started out from alcohol and alcohol use, now we're seeing a lot more. It is drug backgrounds.
Country View has group homes that help a range of people, including those with criminal backgrounds and mental health issues. People like Troy.
Public intox, OWIs. If I didn't have Country View here, I'd be drunk somewhere on the streets, probably, maybe even, in the grave.
The big thing is the need for mental health beds.
There just are not the providers available today that there were even 2 years ago.
Which feeds into the cycle of crime, drug use, and mental health.
There's very few places to get help with mental issues.
When we can address that properly and get the transition for the facilities for the mental health is when we're going to have a solution to overcrowding in jails and prisons everywhere.
Earlier in March, voters passed a $9 million project for a new, larger jail facility in Guthrie County.
Everybody wants a safe community, and so it takes everybody paying attention to the choices that our leaders in our government in Iowa are making.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.
Technology is fundamentally changing how law enforcement works. We're going to take a look at some of the new technology, how it can deter crime, and also solve cold cases.